I know Joe had something to do with this. This sounds like the kind of shit he'd pull. Well, how do you explain it then? The Niners, the Colts, and the Rams all lost on the road. The Jaguars and the Dolphins lost at home. Hell, the four biggest favorites, the Ravens, the Cowboys, the Lions, and the Eagles, all lost at home. 9 underdogs won straight up. I don't care if this game is unpredictable. That shit doesn't happen. At least, not without a little intervention. But I haven't heard shit from Joe. Oh well, I'm sure he'll return my text eventually. For now, we have a show to cobble together.
Are you ready?
I'm just Jim. Welcome to episode 26 of the Fantasy Football Monsters. I'm Von Murder. Again, this week we have Jimmy.
What the hell are you doing up there? You're freaking me out.
You know I can turn into a bat, right? I hang upside down all the time. Just not usually in human form. But I can't understand anything that's actually happened this week, so I'm trying to get a different perspective.
Well, don't. It's fucking weird. Unless you're an LA lawyer looking at me from a billboard, I don't want to see you upside down.
I didn't ask your opinion, but fine. I'll flip around for you. Is that better for you, pussy?
Not really, but it's the best you can do. You know, when you're hanging upside down, you have a forehead that would put Peyton Manning's to shame. It's not a good look.
Whatever. So, as you know, Morty is out. Who did we get?
Why the hell are they late? Did you tell them the right time?
Fine. We'll add him in once he gets here. For now, how'd you like this week, Jimmy?
I don't even know what the hell's going on. Hell, I damn near dropped a big money line bet on the Falcons Monday night because I figured if all the other teams lost, then Philly was sure to lose too. I feel like a fucking moron not having done it.
Yeah, you always count on Nick Sirianni to fuck it up with a game on the line. Fantasy side of things is really weird too. Alvin Kamara is RB1 on the year. J.K. Dobbins is a top 3 running back. Breece Hall wasn't even RB1 for his team on Sunday. Jordan Mason is making us look all sus at CMC after going from 3rd string to RB6.
Yeah, if you had Jaden Reed and Chris Godwin as your wide receiver 1 and 2 on the season so far, congratulations on being able to see the future, because none of us did. Rashid Shaheed is a top 5 wide receiver as well.
I can't even imagine how Cooter Doodle is celebrating that one.
Hell, Marvin Harrison Jr. had enough points in the first quarter to be the wide receiver 1 on the week.
If you think that's funny, your QB1 and QB2 on the year are Baker Mayfield and Derek Carr. Yes, I know you're a Baker simp who had him picked as your number 4 QB of the week. Check out this list of QB 3 through 8. Derek Carr, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones, Geno Smith, and Kirk Cousins.
I don't even know what's going on anymore. Hell, even at tight end, the top 5 included Hunter Henry at number 2, Mike Gesicki at number 4, and an Arizona tight end not named Trey McBride at number 5.
I won't lie, I had to look up Elijah Higgins.
Didn't you have the Dallas defense as your number 1 defense? Well, you shit the bed on that one, Snowflake. Only the Rams and Dolphins were worse, though the Eagles were equally bad. Who the fuck had the Bills as the number 1 defense this week?
The top 4 defenses on the year are Minnesota, Chicago, Arizona, and the LA Chargers. What point is there to giving anyone fantasy advice when that's your fucking top 4? You might as well just throw all 32 teams' names in a hat and draw one out at random for who to play. Thank God the kickers are normal. Aubrey is the #1 kicker on the year so far.
Oh, and I've got a good one for you. Little NFL trivia. On Sunday, Washington became the first NFL team to ever win a game, beating the Giants despite having a -3 touchdown differential.
I feel like that is about as New York Giants and Washington Commanders as you get. Wait, he's here? What are we waiting for?
Yeah, I don't even know who it is, but let's get on with it.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Fred Krueger. I believe in Fred Krueger. Cause they love him in London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say I believe in Fred Krueger. I believe in Fred Krueger.
What the actual fuck was that?
Fred?
Say his name and he shall appear. Fred Krueger is indeed in the house.
I want to know how you got your own entrance music and video.
What the fuck is a Joe Hendry?
Wow, are you that desperate that you have to try to use some viral wrestling meme to get views? I haven't given a damn about wrestling since they got rid of Gangrel. It was nice to see a positive representation for the vampire community.
So what are we talking about? I don't want to talk fucking wrestling.
Glad you asked. So the list of players who are out right now is not small.
Jordan Love, Tua, Raheem Mostert, Keenan Allen, T. Higgins, David Njoku, Jake Ferguson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Josh Downs, Evan Ingram, Isaiah Pacheco, Justin Herbert, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, Justin Jefferson, Taysom Hill, A.J. Brown, Russell Wilson, Kenneth Walker, Rashad White, T.J. Spears, Deebo Samuel, and oh, let's not forget the 101 of many fantasy drafts, Christian McCaffrey.
All of these guys have either missed games, will be missing more games, or are highly questionable to miss games.
That's a great fucking list of injuries. I couldn't have done better myself.
How the hell do you manage this fantasy landscape when you have that kind of carnage?
This year has been really brutal, but the fantasy leagues still go on, and you need a full team. So we're gonna discuss handling injuries, especially this early in the year.
First thing you have to do is determine what kind of injury do they have. Is it one where the player is going to be out a number of weeks, or are they just day-to-day?
In the case of someone like Justin Jefferson or A.J. Brown, the best thing to do would be to have some form of coverage on your bench. These aren't players you want to get rid of, or even consider it, and they could easily be good for week 3 or 4.
So keep an eye on those injury reports.
When looking for replacements, always make sure whether or not you could move players around so your flex is open, if possible. People fuck this up all the time. This gives you a lot more positions you can pull from. As long as you have someone reasonably playable you can swap in, you're good. Sign up the bench slot, or if your league has an IR slot, use that.
Now, if they are going to miss a ton of time or go on IR, you need to start looking at whether or not they're worth dashing or handcuffing.
In the case of CMC, even if he was out for the entire fantasy regular season, if he would project to be back for the fantasy postseason, you would still hold on to him because he is that groundbreaking.
Hopefully you were quick and got Jordan Mason before someone else did, and now you've got a back performing at a very high level who will more than hold the fort until CMC gets back.
With someone like Love and Tua, their backups aren't exactly amazing. So in this case, what you do has a lot to do with how deep your bench is.
If you're deep enough, it's probably worth holding on to them until we know more about their return time. But definitely try to get someone else who can swap in for them in the meanwhile. With the current list of top QBs, there are bound to be several on the waiver wire out there putting up some great numbers.
Be smart with your fob. Every single year, I see people blow huge percentages or even all of their FOB on players who, sure, fill the gap for now, but likely won't be there more than a few weeks. Then you're broke when we uncover who that unknown rookie league winner is.
Also consider your matchup for the week. If your opponent's banged up as well, then you may have some flexibility before you need to start giving up reasonably good players to get a whole filler on the wire.
Sometimes it's just worth playing someone who isn't as good as you'd like, but he has more long-term potential than drop him for a 1 to 2 week gap filler. No one ever won a fantasy league in week 3.
At this stage of the season, you're definitely not dead if you have to take a loss. I had 1 year we started 0-4 in 2 leagues and came back to win championships in both. If you're really banged up, but it's a short-term thing and can afford a loss, it might be better than to go in being like a big underdog than to make big sacrifices, which could hurt for multiple weeks later.
This would also be a good opportunity to look at one of those mutually beneficial trades we talked about a couple weeks ago. See if there's another manager in your league who's also dealing with injuries, and maybe you've got people on your bench that can help each other. You can get a much more fair trade in doing that rather than trying to find someone else who's got players you want, but they really don't need anyone.
Every individual situation is different. There's no one-size-fits-all solution here. That's part of the fun of fantasy football. Injuries.
The moral of the story is to really examine your situation closely before making moves that could make you very sad later. 1 win isn't worth 2 to 4 losses.
So I saw your self-indulgent rant about your teams last week, Von Murder. You want to summarize this week?
No, I do not.
Oh, how come? Didn't you dominate this week?
Fuck you. You know what happened. Yeah, I'm still undefeated in 4 leagues.
Yeah, and 3 of them you have 0 wins.
I never said I was gonna win them all, but I did have the second highest score out of 72 people in the IDP league and was eliminated in 0 leagues. So screw off.
I think this is our cue to see ourselves out.
Since he's gonna throw a temper tantrum for Jimmy and Von Murder, I'm Fred, reminding you, and especially Von Murder, welcome to prime time, bitch!